It boggles my mind how you guys have not seen the Back to the Future trilogy. Like, that is essential nerd viewing. And it boggles my mind that you haven't seen it. Happy Saturday, guys. So I actually didn't initially know what I was going to do for my video today until earlier today when we were talking on WhatsApp, which is the theme that came from the intro, because you guys said that you hadn't seen a lot of movies that I take for granted that I've seen. And so, like, you asked me to put together a list of films that I think you guys should watch. And I did, and it got to be a big list. And, like, it's not even a quarter of the films that you guys need to see. But I stopped making it because it got really, really big. Real big. And so, I'm not going to go through the entire list in this video, because that would just take way too long. And yeah, not going to do it. But what I am going to do is I'm going to read some of the films on the list that I think you guys should see and talk about them a little bit, hopefully. Not too long, which might happen because I love talking about movies. But I'm going to go through some of the films on the list. I'm going to put the full list down here in the comments, right here, down below. And you guys can check them out. And who knows, maybe sometime we can, actually finally have the hangout where we say that we're going to have a hangout and watch stuff together. But it has not happened, and it needs to happen. And maybe we can watch one of these films together. So maybe that will happen. Who knows? So yeah, let's get on with the list. And this is a disclaimer. I try to just keep the list to films that I've seen personally, because word of mouth doesn't really matter to me. Is that a good way of saying it? Whatever. But I try to just keep it to the list. I try to just keep the list to films that I've seen, so I know how amazing they are. So I can speak personally about that. So, oh, another disclaimer before we get to that. I did the list in categories to make it easier for me to put down films, and hopefully I didn't forget many, which I did because there's too many to put down on there. But I just put it in categories. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through each category. I'm just going to pick the 2 films from each category that I think you guys should definitely see. And then the rest will be down here below. So, yeah. So now, let's get going. So I'm going to start this little countdown list thing with comic book films. And obviously, there's so many that come out recently because it's the big thing right now. But I'm going to go back in time. And I'm going to recommend that you guys see, one, the original Superman, which came out in the 70s. It has Christopher Reeve as Superman and Gene Hackman as Lex Luthor. Great film. Great film. And then the second one is the original Batman, directed by Tim Burton, with Michael Keaton as Batman and Jack Nicholson as the Joker. I used to be one of those people who didn't think that anyone would be able to beat Jack Nicholson as the Joker, because he's just so crazy and manic, and he makes you laugh, and he's just an amazing Joker. But then Heath Ledger came along, obviously, and proved me wrong. But yes, the original Batman, watch it. It's on Netflix, so definitely watch it, because there's no excuse not to, because it's on Netflix. Next category is science fiction. And there's so many I could do here. So many. Alright, but I'm going to go with, obviously, Back to the Future, because that was, the thing that catapulted me to do this video. Alright, so definitely watch the entire Back to the Future trilogy. And the special thing about the Back to the Future trilogy is that not one film in that trilogy is bad. Sometimes, with trilogies, a lot of times with trilogies, it will lose steam as it goes along. Like the first one will be awesome, second one will be good, and then by the time the third one rolls out, it's just horrible, and they run out of ideas and just throwing things up there just to keep the franchise going and to make money. That's not the case with Back to the Future, right? Back to the Future is amazing from beginning to end, from film 1 to film 3. Definitely watch those. And then the other film that I would recommend from this category is a film that, if you've seen, you definitely got some nerd cred, because I don't know. I don't know if a lot of people have seen it, especially over the years. As the years have gone by and more films have come out, and this one I feel like has gotten lost in the shuffle, even though it's awesome. So it's called The Last Starfighter. It's an 80s movie, and for the time, not even for the time, the visual effects are horrible. The story is kind of cheesy, but I still just love it. Like, it's one of those nostalgic kind of movies to me. Like, because I watched it with my dad, and yeah, it's awesome to me, and it's funny. It's very funny. So it's called The Last Starfighter. So check that one out. So the next category is comedies, and this is gonna be real hard to narrow down because there's so many good comedies. First one I'm gonna say is Office Space, because Office Space is without a doubt the best film made about like everyday kind of living, if you know what I mean. So like getting up and going to a 9-to-5 job, and like all the insane things that happen at work that are just so funny and insane throughout the day. They're the kind of things that you come home and you just laugh about. Like, wait, did that really happen? So, Office Space is just amazing. The other one that I'll say for comedies from my list below is the John Hughes 80s films, which are huge. Like, I don't know anyone who hasn't seen them, but until I probably met you, until you guys, like, because I'm sure you guys haven't seen them, but John Hughes 80s films. So I'm talking about like The Breakfast Club and 16 Candles, and the one I have on the list, which is Ferris Bueller's Day Off. They just do a great job of speaking to like adolescents, you know? So what it's like growing up and experimenting and finding yourself. And I think they just do a great job of doing that. Now, even though you guys are all girls, and this might be a stereotype, I don't know, because, like, even though we've been doing this for a while, I'm still learning about you guys, and about your likes and dislikes and all of that. So this might be a stereotype, but I feel like maybe you guys won't be as interested in this category as I am, being the only male in this group. But the next category is action, right? Action films. Because sometimes we just need to watch a film where it's mindless and things blow up. But that's the twist, because the two films I'm going to recommend are not mindless. Like, they're very intelligent, and they have a story and great character development. And they use the action as just like background show. It's not like the main attraction. So, first one is the original Die Hard. The original Die Hard, which is without a doubt the greatest action film ever made. Like, that's not even a doubt in my mind. Like, it's the greatest action film ever made, with Bruce Willis and Alan Rickman as the villain. Like, Die Hard is just it when it comes to action films. The other one is a very close second, though, and it's the Bourne Trilogy, with Bourne Identity, the Bourne Supremacy, and the Bourne Ultimatum. And it's Matt Damon, and it's Jason Bourne, and just all those films, like, are just intelligent, and they make you think, and the stories are great, and Matt Damon is Jason Bourne. His character develops and grows throughout the entire thing, and it's just way interesting to see where he comes from in his background and how he got to be who he is. The next category is the biggest one on the list because I love it. It's drama films. And this is definitely going to be the hardest one to narrow down. So, I'm going to go with one that's really, like, hits home to me. And that's, the first one is A Few Good Men. It came out in 1993. It stars Tom Cruise, Jack Nicholson, Demi Moore, Kevin Bacon, Kevin Pollak. And maybe you guys have seen it already. But I love that movie. Like, I feel like it's a very quotable movie. And that's why I kind of love it. Like, it just makes me laugh so much throughout the entire film. Especially over the years, I've watched it more and more and, like, memorized the lines and stuff. It just makes me laugh. Even though it's a very serious kind of movie. Yeah, and I think the reason why I love it is because it was written by Aaron Sorkin, and it was the first thing that I watched that was written by him, and it started me on my path to kind of just like worshiping everything he does. The other film I recommend from this list, from this category, is The Shawshank Redemption, which was very underappreciated in its time. Like, and I know that's hard to believe if you've seen it, but it was very underappreciated in its time. But as the years have gone by, more and more people have seen it, and more people realize how brilliant of a film it is, and it's gotten just bigger and bigger and bigger, and like now it's like universally loved. I'm not gonna spoil anything from that movie because that could be very easily spoiled, but if you have not seen The Shawshank Redemption, see it. Like, it will inspire you and make you laugh and make you cry, and it'll do everything that a great film should. The last kind of films I would recommend, and I think above all the other films I've talked about, these are the films I recommend more than anything else, is anything that's been created by Japanese filmmaker Hayao Miyazaki. Anything that he's created. And he goes back a long time. He goes back until the 80s. And Nausicaa Valley of the Wind. And Porco Rosso. And Castle in the Sky. And Kiki's Delivery Service. And My Neighbor Totoro. And Spirited Away. And Howl's Moving Castle. And Princess Mononoke. And Ponyo. And The Wind Rises. And he has so many films, and all of them are great. I used to think that Disney was my favorite kind of animation, and I still love Disney films. Don't get me wrong, I still love Disney films. But then I watched a Hayao Miyazaki film, and it was just, to me, it was just on an entirely different level from a Disney film. Like, it's more thoughtful and more honest, and everything about it is just amazing. So any film by Hayao Miyazaki, watch. Alright? And if we do like a hangout, and we do want to watch something, and we do want to watch a film from like the list I've made, I'm probably going to show you guys a Hayao Miyazaki film. I don't know which one yet, but I'm probably going to show you guys a Hayao Miyazaki film, because you guys need to watch one. So, that's my list. This has probably gone on a long time. Even though this is my second take, because I realized my first take was going on for a long time. But this one has probably gone on for a long time, because I can't help it. When I talk about movies, I love movies. And so when I talk about them, I talk about them for a while. So it's probably gone along for a while. I hope that's okay. And I hope you guys have stuck around for the entire thing. And I hope you guys check out the list down below. And I will keep talking to you guys on WhatsApp, and I will see you guys. You will see me, face, everything, next week. So, love you guys. Bye.